Hi, today we will return to the lore of Game of Thrones, namely, taking advantage of the upcoming snowstorms, we will turn our eyes to the north of Westeros, towards Winterfell. Considering the fact that the world is huge and full of characters that do not appear in the game, I will try to shorten it to the most important elements. Thank you for your understanding. Although there are quite a lot of houses in Westeros, there are only 9 great houses, including the Targaryens. These are Starks, Arryn, Baratheon, Greyjoy, Lannister, Tully, Martell, Tyrell, and Targaryen. Each of them owns, or had, vast lands and a significant number of troops. The past tense is also important because some of the great houses have declined over time. The 2 most numerous families in the game are the Starks and the Lannisters. Today I will deal with the first family and tell about them what can be read between the lines from the game and from other sources. The Stark family coat of arms is a gray direwolf on a snow-white background. Their motto is "Winter is coming," unlike other families whose motto is boasting about themselves. The Starks, as the furthest from King's Landing, still believe in the old gods, who are the gods of the children of the forest. Their ancestral weapon is ice, a 2-handed sword. That is, he was, because he was forged into 2 swords on the orders of Tywin Lannister, father of Tyrion, Cersei, and Jaime Lannister. For the most part, Tywin does not appear in the game. One of these swords is Oathkeeper, Jaime Lannister's exclusive weapon. Members of House Stark include Arya Stark, Robb Stark, and Sansa Stark. Jon Snow can also be included, as his surname, Snow, is given to illegitimate children of northern houses. Yes, everyone probably first thought that all 4 of them were siblings, but that's not the case. Jon Snow, whose real name is Aegon Targaryen, is actually their cousin. I'll throw in a little spoiler here. Daenerys Targaryen is his aunt. The Stark family's castle is Winterfell, but calling it a castle is a shorthand. Winterfell is a castle complex, which means it has more separate buildings within its walls, and also has many larger and smaller courtyards where soldiers practice fencing, archery, and hand-to-hand combat. Winterfell also has a godswood, where the weirwood is located, as well as hot springs that flow through a system of pipes to heat the entire complex. Who said northern people like the cold? When we say Winterfell, we mean the north. But what exactly does this north mean? It is a much larger area than the rest of the great houses of Westeros. Technically, anything from the neck can be considered north, quite a large part of the world. But we must not forget that the wall and the surrounding areas are autonomous. But I won't talk about the wall and the areas beyond the wall today. Definitely too warm for such frosty scenery. Let's go back north. Following this line of thought, the Starks own a huge amount of land. However, they are not the richest family. Yes, that's right, the northern lands are very poor. This is due to severe winters and very low temperatures in summer, where even then snow can fall. This is due to the proximity of the Beyond the Wall area, where winter lasts forever. Literally the lands of eternal winter. Who is the Starks' greatest enemy? Lyon Lannister. But why? Because Sansa, Arya, and Robb's father was framed for the death of Cersei's husband, who was king at the time. Yes, the Starks were framed for the death of the then king. This insult requires blood. However, now I would have to move the story to the Great House Lannister, and there will be an episode about them in the unspecified future. The last chapter is devoted to the commanders of this house. As I mentioned earlier, these are Sansa Stark, Arya Stark, and Robb Stark, respectively bowmen, infantry, and cavalry. In order, Robb is the oldest and Arya is the youngest. All 3 are F2P commanders, available from the Weirwood store, and have an elite rank. Each of them had their own direwolf. Sansa, an aspiring young lady, named her Lady. Arya, the adventurer, named her direwolf after the warrior princess, Nymeria. Robb named his direwolf after the color of his coat, Grey Wind. To sum up the Great House Stark, they are strong people. They are resistant to adversity and constitute the first barrier between the Night King's army and King's Landing. The first, if we ignore the wall. Despite being nobility, they are not afraid to get their hands dirty. They fight for themselves and believe in the old gods. Thank you for today. See you soon.